today's episode of Humor Syndrome, we're talking about the Oscars, because I love them. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. We're talking about the 89th Academy Awards. Little recap, little thoughts about the show, because I have a tradition every year. It's because of my parents. It's because my dad is the one who really got me into cinema. You know, I've told you the story before, but if you haven't heard it, it all started when I was a young little lad, and I'm minding my own business, probably playing like Streets of Rage in my bedroom or something. All of a sudden, my dad swings open the door, says, "Buddy, you need to watch this." He proceeds to cue up Bishop getting lifted into the sky by the Queen Alien and then ripped in half. I was sold from that day forward on the power of cinema. So just growing up, you know, I would love just laying on the couch with my mom. You know, she got really into it too. She just loves just lounging that day. It's a tradition in my household. So we did it again this year, and let's get right into it. First up, let's get this out of the way. What the hell was that trailer for Bright? Did all of you see this? This Bright trailer? Apparently, looked it up immediately after. It's got Will Smith as some cop. There's like all this crazy sci-fi imagery. He's got some like King Arthur sword. It was really quick. It was a teaser, and it's a Netflix exclusive movie. And I looked it up, and apparently the description was a human cop must team up with an orc to find a powerful weapon that people are killing for. Sign me up. I'm in, baby. But to the show at hand, I absolutely loved it. I loved little JT, little Justin Timberlake coming in, setting the tone for the show, getting everybody loose. You know, it was a very loose and relaxed show. But there is one thing, you know, I always read so much criticism for the Oscars, and there's all this backlash. You know, everyone always, you know, talks bad about it. I think it's very important, at least for me, to be fully caught up. You know, the Oscars is kind of like the season finale of the entire year of films. Just by seeing the majority of the nominations, you have a horse in the race, you have people to root for, you're in on all the little like witty jokes that they're throwing out about each movie. I get more emotionally invested when I'm caught up. And it was interesting this year because I frantically made sure to see all the Best Picture nominations right before. And in years past, there's always something I'm pulling for above everything else. Whether it's, Mad Max Fury Road or Whiplash or Sicario. I usually am pulling so hard for these certain movies. But this year was so solid across the board, I did not care who won what. It was just a good year for movies. Solid. Just want to bring up a few categories. First, I want to talk about Best Animated Feature Film. Zootopia, taking it home. I wasn't disappointed. You know what, I'm lying. I was a little disappointed. Zootopia is a 10 out of 10 film. Don't get me wrong. Love it. Love it. But Kubo and the Two Strings. I was really hoping Kubo would take it, just because, you know, any kind of like maternal love story. I know Zootopia touches on that too, but Kubo and just all that with his mom, it was just Kubo like took me to another world. I was blown away by that movie. It was like I don't know where I was when I was watching Kubo, but it was a good and special place. Next up, Best Foreign Film. Again, no ill will to any of the winners. I actually didn't get a chance to see some of those. The winner, The Salesman, looked intense. But I couldn't help but notice there was a huge gaping hole in the nominations. Huge. So again, just to reiterate, I was stoked for really everyone to win, you know, but supporting actor, loved Moonlight. But, you know, I have a bias towards any kind of heist bank robbery movie. That's just a bias. Straight up bias. If you're in a bank robbery movie, if you are a bank robbery movie at the Oscars, I'm pulling for you. So I really wanted Jeff Bridges to win, but he didn't bring it home. You know, science fiction as well. I rewound like 10 times. Remember a couple weeks ago we were talking about directors. Talking about Sicario, Blade Runner. Rewound 10 times when they said his name and I still can't get it. Denis Villeneuve. Hopefully I got it. Anyway, for Arrival, really wanted him to bring it home for Best Director. I think he has time though. He'll get his due. His due's coming up. And cinematography too. La La Land took that, which I totally understand because like musical, all the colors, choreography, like I can't even imagine having to shoot a musical like that, especially like where on the freeway right there that they shut down. But man, really wanted Arrival to take cinematography because out of all the movies at the Oscars, that is the one where images are just burned into my mind, you know, and that lends itself to cinematography quite a bit. So I was hoping for that, but didn't happen. So then Best Picture rolls around and La La Land. What? Well, there's been a mistake. There's been a mistake. What? Whew, brutal. Absolutely brutal. Straight out of an M. Night Shyamalan film. La La Land gets trolled hard. I was so uncomfortable. Like that, I do not wish that on anyone. That is a rough order. So, you know, they announced that La La Land wins. Warren Beatty coming up with Faye Dunaway. Bonnie and Clyde situation. Bank robberies. I got nothing against them. So they announced that La La Land wins, but that's not the case. Moonlight actually took it, which, you know, that, out of all those movies, Moonlight is the most challenging film to watch. Not just because of subject matter, but because of pace and tone. That's a tough one to get through. Hell of a movie, Moonlight. But, you know, Hell or High Water and Arrival, I was pulling for you, but still, they were all good. It was a good year for movies. You know, I love movies as much as I love video games, seriously, because they show me new worlds, they show me new culture, they teach me how to be empathetic, they teach me about life and the human condition. They can be exciting, sad, funny, scary, just every single emotion in a good movie. And like when those lights go out in the theater, when you're sitting in that chair and those lights dim, that curtain pulls back, and that projector fires up, and that movie starts playing, that, to me, is heaven. So that's it for the show. Watch movies. Also watch Vikings. I am at Michael P. Huber. We are Easy Allies. Follow us on Twitter, Twitch, Patreon. We're Patreon supported, so crowd-funded. So if you like what you see, help us out. And if you want to talk about movies and the Oscars, and if you love them or hate them, we're going to be doing Talking Syndrome Saturday, 11 a.m. on twitch.tv/Easy Allies. And see you next week.
It's time for the syndrome.
There is one thing every year that just makes me curl up in a ball and get extremely depressed at the Oscars, and it is In Memoriam. where all the people of the industry have a tribute to them as they have passed away in the year. And just days before, Bill Paxton passed away. So for this Syndrome episode, it's got to be Twister.